My friends, who doesn't love a murder mystery? And today I've got two of them for you. Yeah, this is Howard Real, and yeah, it's real truth. And I've got two murder mysteries for you. All right? Last week I went to see this new movie, Knives Out. It's a murder mystery. Well, I've got two for you today. The first one, item from the Daily Wire. A brutal crackdown by the Iranian government has left at least 180 demonstrators dead after they participated in protests that were initially sparked by an unexpected increase in fuel prices. Unquote. All right, who killed them? Who killed them? No. I know it was the Iranian government. I mean, no. I'm not looking for the names of individual soldiers or the general who gave the order. No. I want to know who killed these 180 people. All right, you think about that while we look at this next item from the Associated Press, Dateline, Villa Union, Mexico. The death toll from a weekend gun battle between a heavily armed drug cartel assault group and security forces near the U.S.-Mexico border has risen to 22, the state's governor said Monday. Unquote. Okay, murder mystery number two. Who killed these 22 people? Give up? Oh, come on. You're giving up much too easily. The people who killed the 180 demonstrators in Iran are the same people who killed the 22 people in Mexico on the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, how can that be? Real? Come on! Well, I'll tell you how it can be. In both instances, the murderers were politicians, law enforcement officials, and liberal voters who know what a solution is to these problems and refuse to use it. We know how to fix the horrible violence coming from Iran. The same Iran that is speedily working on developing deliverable nuclear weapons and has said publicly for years they plan to use them to destroy Israel and kill all the people in Israel. And if they can put them on a rocket that'll take them to Los Angeles, they'll do that too. And then you get the cartels in Mexico. You got people in the Mexico-U.S. border. Havoc, horrors, beheadings, people hanging from bridges and overpasses. And it is the politicians voted for by liberals who won't take action. What kind of action? Well, I've been saying on the show for many years, my friends, you know, because you've been listening to me for many years, that the solution to the threat of violence from Iran, whether it's murdering demonstrators in the streets or delivering a nuclear payload, is to absolutely devastate Iran. Demolish the 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 biggest cities and say to them, no, my friends, no. You will not continue in your violent ways. You will not threaten the world with nuclear jihad. What is the solution to the drug cartels going on in Mexico? Well, that's a little more complex. It involves Mexico getting involved, and the people of Mexico don't want to because they're afraid of the cartels. But it seems to me that if we sent soldiers in there to bomb the living crap out of the cartel strongholds and left thousands and thousands of cartel people dead, they probably stop what they're doing, right? Long enough to be buried. The murderer in both instances is the official, the legislator, the government representative who refuses to take sufficient action. Now, keep in mind that action will be ruthless and ugly. And that's okay. It was Shakespeare who said, to be kind, I must be cruel. Those 180 demonstrators would be alive today if we had shown sufficient force with Iran. Those 22 people who were dead by the U.S.-Mexico border would be alive if we had taken sufficient action with the drug cartels. Issuing press releases, using diplomatic back channels, hasn't accomplished anything. Iran gets closer to a nuclear arsenal every single day. The drug cartels are now murdering soldiers in Mexico. The situations are out of hand. And both instances could have been solved if we had had the intestinal fortitude to do so. But we are a country populated by liberals. Liberals vote. Politicians pander to liberal voters. And so instead of taking decisive action, brutal action, we take the mamby-pamby approach. We talk and we rail against evil and we promise things that we eventually don't deliver. And so innocent people continue to be slaughtered. Remember what Shakespeare wrote, to be kind, I must be cruel. So the solution to the murder mysteries, liberal politicians. Liberal politicians who refuse to be statesmen, who refuse to take the actions necessary to secure the peace, to keep law and order. It's not just in Iran, and it's not just on the Mexico side of our border. It's here in America too. It's here in America too. Grown-ups realize that sometimes the solutions to problems are harsh, difficult, things we'd rather not do. Children never realize that. Liberals are children. So with liberals in charge, liberal politicians, what have you, the problems won't get solved. This is a time for grown-ups to make hard choices, unattractive, maybe even unpopular choices, but the choices that will preserve the rule of law, preserve our nation's sovereignty, and send the message loud and clear to the Muslim world that no, you will not conquer us or anybody else with violence. And if you try, we will destroy you. That's how you maintain the peace. And that's how we're starting today's show. It's Monday. It's Real Truth, and we'll be right back.